My dear friends in Jesus, I welcome you to the Sunday Gospel Reflection, the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year B. The Gospel is taken from Mark chapter 6, verses from 30 to 34. The apostles gathered together with Jesus and reported all they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while." People were coming and going in great numbers, and they had no opportunity even to eat. So they went off in the boat by themselves to a deserted place. They hastened there on foot from all the towns and arrived at the place before them. When he disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus. My dear friends, the crux of today's Gospel and the words that captivates at the very reading of the Gospel is this, that his heart was moved with pity for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd. This phrase, the sheep without a shepherd, is not new to the New Testament. In the Old Testament, God the Father, Yahweh, a number of times described the situation of his beloved people with this phrase, the sheep without shepherd, to refer to the situation of the Israelites. For example, Numbers chapter 27, verse 17, 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 17, the book of Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 5. All these references Yahweh used to denote the situation of his own people, that they were like sheep without a shepherd. What happens to the sheep without a shepherd? First of all, there will be no rest. Secondly, if there is no shepherd, there is nobody to guide them on the right path. And if there is no shepherd, the sheep would not get proper food. And number 4, if there is no shepherd, there is no protection for the sheep. Now, how does Jesus fulfill all these things? Because he is our good shepherd. Today's gospel is an answer as to how Jesus provides all this. First of all, to his apostles, and secondly, to all the people. The 4 things that a good shepherd does. And without a good shepherd, these 4 things, the sheep would not get: rest, guidance, food, and protection. Today's gospel begins by saying, when the disciples came back to report about their ministry, Jesus saw that they must be very tired. And that's why he tells them to take rest, because he understands the human situation, human condition. The letter to the Hebrews speaks that we do not have a high priest who cannot understand our situation, but who is one with us, and he understands our situation. That's why Mark chapter 6, John chapter 6, and Luke chapter 9, verse 10, it says, he was taking them with him. This is a beautiful verse. This is about the heart of Jesus. He doesn't send them simply, you go and have rest, but he personally takes them with him. And when they wanted to take rest, because they were so tired, and the gospel says they did not even time to have food, they went to the other side of the shore by boat, but then people on foot, they came even before them. You see the people's desire for healing. And that's why one would think that when Jesus sees all these people, he would get irritated. But he was not. Because Jesus knows that these people are selfish, materialistic, and they would go after him only when they need some miracles. Yet, he's not irritated. Luke 9, chapter 9, verse 11 says, he was welcoming them. This is about the heart of God, the beautiful word. He was welcoming them. So Jesus promises rest, first of all, to his apostles, physical rest, and secondly, to all the people. And if there is no shepherd, what happens to the sheep? The second thing is, the sheep without a shepherd, they don't know where to go. There is nobody who would lead them in the right path. That's why today's psalm, taken from Psalm 23, responsorial psalm, speaks about all these qualities of the shepherd. First of all, he gives them rest, and secondly, he guides them in the right path. That is the second aspect of the shepherd. And number three, he provides good food for them. That's why right after today's gospel, the following verses, Jesus performs a miracle of feeding the 5,000 people in a miraculous way. All the gospels report about this. He provides rest, he guides them, and number three, he provides food. And not only physical, but also spiritual food. And number four, a sheep without shepherd, there is no protection. That's why Jesus protects. That's the fourth quality of the shepherd. That's why Psalm 23 says, I have no fear because I am safe in his hands. He will protect me from all the dangers. And not only that, finally, Jesus, the same gospel that corresponds in Matthew's gospel, chapter 14, verse 14, it says, he felt compassion like sheep without shepherd. When he sees them, he healed the sick. Here, the healing aspect of Jesus, we come to know in the similar passage, but in the Gospel of Matthew. That's why the reason for Jesus to do all these things, namely to give them rest, to guide them, to feed them, and to protect them, is all because of the single word, because of his compassion, the compassionate heart of the shepherd. Compassion, it really does not mean a feeling just from a mind or from a heart. This compassion, this word comes from the Greek root word, a verb, which says splachino, which means it speaks about the internal organs, something related to our physical internal organs that will get affected when we see somebody in a very pathetic condition. And that's the kind of compassion that Jesus has today for his sheep. Today, let us understand the heart of Jesus as our good shepherd and follow him and try to show the same compassion towards others. May have a very blessed Sunday.